Hi, everybody. Welcome. Hello. Hi. I love that many of you got to know each other a little bit. I want this to be an opportunity to network with each other, but also learn some nuggets from the slides, but also learn some nuggets from each other. I know you had some nuggets. I already heard you give some good nuggets, so I want to tap in to your genius as well as the genius of everybody else in this room, too. So this is social media networking. It's a combination of two things that I love and the intersection of both. So there's lots of fun to be had. Oh, good, you have paper. Oh, shoot, paper. Hi, welcome. Come on in. Let's see, so networking. Thoughts on the word networking and how you feel about it. Could be anything. You can just shout it out. Super scary. You feel scary about it. Yeah, I'm curious to hear what other thoughts. Working the room. Let's work the room. Here, have a card, have a card, have a card. What else? Icky, you feel icky? What other thoughts do we? Work? Network, it's a lot of work. Phony.
Misunderstood.
Ooh, misunderstood. I like that. Oh, do I unpack it now? I'm curious. I like. I'll grab that. Hold me to that, because that's a good one to unpack. Yes. What other thoughts? All kind of thoughts. Do you have a thought? Anxiety? Anybody? If you relate to a thought, by the way. Oh, yes. You have pens. How do you? It's like he reads my mind.
Yep. There's water. Yeah, there's a water fountain right around the corner.
Are there cups?
Some restroom.
Anymore?
We have some permanent cups you're welcome to keep. I'll put out.
Oh.
We don't have recyclable ones. They're permanent and recyclable.
Ooh.
So you can
Okay.
take them with you hot and cold.
Ooh.
I'll put them out by the.
Love it. Over there?
Yeah.
There's gonna be cups. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So I heard some thoughts. We had anxiety. Any thoughts? Positive, negative, mediocre, anything?
Necessary.
Necessary. Cool. What are some other thoughts? Some thoughts over here? Any other things? I see you looking. You're like, what?
An extrovert's dream.
Oh, an extrovert's dream. Actually, if you're comfortable, is anyone here identify as an extrovert? What about an introvert? Anyone identifies it? Okay. I had a feeling this would happen. I'm going to get to that because I think you might have an inkling that I might be an extrovert. Just maybe. So look, there's a lot of weird stuff that people feel about networking. It is a thing that people just get like anxious, nauseous, whatever about, right? Oh yeah, you can see my crazy little notes here. Oh, come back. Yeah, so this workshop won't solve absolutely everything you need, but hopefully we'll start a conversation and get some ideas that you might be able to apply in the future. So you can start conversations with people in a genuine, non-phony way, in a non-stressful way, using in-person and online tactics. So hence social media and networking combined. Oh, here's me. There's my face. I know, you got a lot of my face today. So let me tell you my story. I know a lot of you were like, oh my gosh, she's an extrovert. How is she going to do it? I actually love introverts, and so much of what I love to do, especially with my own parties at home, is to make it comfortable for people to make connections. So I put on name tags, or I tell people you should meet so-and-so because this person is, you should meet them, and all this kind of good stuff. So I love helping people in different backgrounds, but I'm not going to pretend like I know exactly what it's like to be in your shoes. So please, if there's something that you're like unsure about, like, she's an extrovert, maybe she doesn't know what it's like to be me, please share it, because I can't always understand what everyone else's shoes is like, but I want to make sure that everything today is relevant to you. So with that, let me tell you my story. I am still an extrovert, but someone told me the other day at a party, at a big networking event where I knew, hi, come on in, it's probably like 700 people there, and I knew maybe 50, 100 people there. It was the night of the year where everybody knows me, and it feels awesome. I am the networker in the room. And one guy who I met through this event over many, many years comes up to me and is like, Shiley, you know, you're such a great connector. You're such a natural. And I was like, actually, no, I'm not a natural. This is actually something that I had to learn the crazy hard way. I grew up in the north suburbs of Chicago, in Lincolnshire, Long Grove area. I moved through many different schools. I'm a child of immigrants. I'm Moroccan, Iranian. My parents didn't understand the school system. I had lots of weird things that I had to navigate. And on top of that, I was behind in reading. And having switched so many different schools, starting out at a new school in second grade, I didn't know anybody, and I didn't really have any friends, and I was super behind. And I was a slow reader, and it just was very awkward in the lunchroom, sitting alone, not having friends. Like, it was terrible. And I was bullied a lot to the point where in 5th grade, like, I just broke down. And I said, Shiley, like, I don't want to be teased anymore. Hi, welcome back. I didn't want to be teased anymore. I was just terrible. I cried to my mom every day after school. Like, I had no friends. I didn't have anybody. So I said to myself in 5th grade, I'm like, I can't have this happen. I don't know how to talk to people. I drive people crazy, or they don't want to be my friend. They don't like me. How can I fix this? So I spent all of my middle school years trying to figure out how to socialize with people, how to talk less, or how to not be annoying, or what made people rub people the wrong way. I tried to study it for 3 years. So when I got to high school, I sort of figured out kind of how to even make friends to really have my first friends. So this was something that I had to learn because of a need that I had in my life, and I just never stopped learning. So I finally made my friends, and this is where the social media part comes in, is through the internet, is how I made my strongest social network. So, oh, there's me as a child. There's me growing up. I figured that would be kind of cute. I was a kid at one point. My notes. Excuse me. There we go. Oh, stop it. There we go. So when I got to high school, I found, I was on MySpace. And a weird thing you're going to learn about me, I love reality competition shows like Big Brother and Survivor. Who's watched those shows? Anyone watching those shows? No? Oh, okay. This is why I had to go on the internet to find my people, because they're not here. So I found a MySpace group for Survivor fans, for Big Brother fans, and within that I found, and you're going to learn way too much about me right now, we play online versions of these games. Super random. Like, we play Survivor on the internet. Like, nobody knows about this. It's such a weird hobby. So we were promoting these games, and there's a point to this, I promise. We were promoting these games in these groups. Hey, come join my Survivor game. But it was for fans, and most fans didn't really want to play. And we were being very spammy. Like, I hate spam. Everybody hates spam. I don't want to spam the wrong place. So we're like, why don't we make our own online community? So we made a MySpace group called Shiley's Resort for online gamers, for all these people who played this weird hobby thing to kind of come together as a collective. I picked a person of the week. I posted highlights every week for our community. I engaged everybody. I was the community connector. And it was early social media skills long before the term social media was really something that people used. So how does this networking, friendship thing come together? I met a lot of my friends from that community, and that's where I got my first friends. But it's also led me to a career. Let's see, 2013, 14, I applied for a job, and they asked, Shiley, have you ever managed an online community before? And I was like, have I done that? This is 5 or 6 years after this MySpace thing. And I'm like, wait a second, I did that back in the day. I was doing social media long before. So combining all of my kind of networking skills that I learned from being teased as a child to like the social media skills that I indirectly somehow got from MySpace, it kind of came together. So it's because of the internet that I was able to make so many of my networks. And where are my words on this? It was because of the social media that I did on MySpace that I made so many friends. And it's all the social skills that I needed as a bullied child that kind of came together to kind of get me to where I am today. So, and now I do social media for clients, and I help them connect with their people on the internet. So it's a little bit of where I'm coming from on this. This is me networking. This is networking in my life visualized. This is my door to my apartment. This is literally my door. If you walk to my house, this is what you'll see. They're all name tags from different events I go to. This is to the extreme level that I take it. Are you seeing this? It's crazy. So like there's probably 100 name tags from like 2 or 3 years worth of events. This is what it looks up close. Every single one of them is if you got a BNI group, you got nerdery, all sorts of crazy places. And then this is all the lanyards from the conferences I've gone to for the last, I don't know, 7, 8 years. So I go to a lot of conferences. I love meeting people. I don't know, maybe am I the opposite of a lot of people in this room? I see the laughter. So this is kind of where I've got to now. So I took it to a crazy extreme level. But I built my life off of connections, both online and off, and this is how I kind of do it. So there's a little bit of connection between the two. So this is how I see networking. It's kind of like the lottery. And I'm not the best at analogies, but I think they're kind of funny and silly, and maybe somebody will make sense of them because I love analogies regardless. So it's like winning the lottery. You gotta get as many lottery tickets as possible, and eventually one of them will get you a win. So every lottery ticket is a new connection you make with someone new. Maybe it's someone you meet here today. Maybe it's with me. Maybe it's with somebody at Nextdoor. You want to make as many connections as possible so that when somebody has an idea that might be relevant for you, that they call you. And eventually, hopefully, something will work out. But you got to get as many lottery tickets as possible because then your odds of winning go up. And then also, it's like planting seeds. Networking is like planting as many seeds as you can in different places in hopes that something will grow. But if you're only planting 1 or 2 seeds here and there, like you're probably not going to have good odds of finding the magical thing that's going to solve the thing for you. I wrote this. Networking is like the 1% of the connections that you have kind of manifesting for your benefit. If I talk to maybe 50 companies, maybe 5 of them maybe want to hire me, maybe 2 of them will end up hiring me, and that might be my full-time workload. Not everything is going to work, but putting the feelers out might come in. Is this new? Interesting? I'm looking at your faces here. It's compounding of the interaction. So seed planting. Okay, here we go. I love this. Instead of better glasses, your network gives you better eyes. Is that if I know that you two are looking for HR-related things, and you're in my mind, and I see HR generalist job, I'm going to send it to you. But if you're not on somebody's happy list of favorite people, they're not going to call you. So you want to make as many good friends as possible that are looking for the thing that you need. One of my friends is looking for an education job right now, and if I see anything education related, he's the first person I'm sending it to. Another friend runs this company called Curiosity. I saw her company pop up at a Walgreens. Anyone heard of Curiosity, by the way? No? Science? Okay. I saw it pop up at a Walgreens advertisement on their TV screen. I sent her a picture of it because she's on my happy list. So she's somebody that I'm keeping an eye out for because I absolutely love and adore. So the more people you're on that happy list with, the more your network brings you good. Anyway, so leads us to butterflies. What is this butterfly thing? I want to know kind of where everyone is in this room, about how comfortable you feel with your networking. We have the caterpillar, maybe somebody who's starting. Hi, good to see you. Just grab any of these turn seats. So what stage are you with your networking? Are you a caterpillar, kind of new, starting out? Are you somebody in your cocoon, like you kind of know what's up, but you want to kind of get more skills? Or do you feel awesome and maybe you need a few more nuggets? Share if you're feeling comfortable. Who feels like they're more like this caterpillar, kind of new and early and trying to figure stuff out? You feel, oh, I appreciate you sharing that. Thank you. We have a few people there. Okay, what about cocoon, kind of figuring it out, want to get some more? Okay. A lot of people in there. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody feel like they're a butterfly and maybe they want to see what's going on and get more insights? Oh, it's okay. It's okay to not be a butterfly. I like it. Okay, so we have a lot of cocoons. I love it. Very cool. Lovely, lovely. Okay, now here's a question. What do you do? I want to know who's excited to tell me about their job. I don't see very many thrilled faces. That was kind of the point. Exactly the point, right? Like, a lot of folks don't like what they do, but this is kind of the go-to question of what do you do? And if you hate your job and you just ask somebody, what do? You think they're going to be very excited to tell you about it? Do you think they're going to like that conversation? That's my question. Maybe it's rhetorical, maybe not. I don't know. What do you have some thoughts? I saw your face.
I love what I do.
There you go.
I'm a therapist, but I just came from the hospital system, and so our referral network was built in. It's the hospital, right? So they're calling, and it's feeding directly to me. So I basically stepped out of that, and I'm with my colleague, and we have a parent company, so there is funding, but it's a startup in the sense that it's just me and her.
Ooh.
So we're out there, and so I've never had an impetus to start a social media and Instagram. I don't have Facebook, so it's finding my authenticity in something that feels very inauthentic.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Very interesting. I appreciate that. So you like what you do. Cool.
I love what I do.
Awesome.
But I'm finding my niche in the network.
Very nice. I like that. Very nice. Okay, so I saw those cringing faces about what do I do? Some people like what they do. Anyone who loves what they do? Who loves what they do? You love a few people. So I see a few people. Not everybody, but some people like what they do. So maybe this is a fun question for some people, but some people don't like what they do. And if you're in this room, maybe you're looking for some new adventures. So this is probably not going to get the juiciest of conversations going for you. So I like to put my token question, but I heard this question earlier too of what did you ask this question of what brought you here today? Did you ask that? That's a really great question. What brought you here today? It means that the person in the room can answer that question any way which they want. I came because I want to learn networking. I came because I want to find a job. I came because you can literally pick your favorite thing and talk about it. What you do, this gives you like maybe one option that the person might actually go about. Sometimes it happens. This used to make me nauseous, this question. Now I have a good answer, so I'm like, okay, great. So this is my token question. What's your adventure? Now, part of you guys probably were like, thought of something fun that you like to do, and part of you were like, oh my gosh, I don't have an adventure. What's my adventure? Was that your reaction?
That's why I didn't ask you that. I'm like, I don't have any adventures. I'm just a regular person.
You're just a regular person. And my hopes too is that I feel like I've maybe every 15 people I ask this question to, I feel like I sparked a little seed in somebody to be like, wow, I need to start living an adventurous life, or I need to find an adventure. So if hopefully maybe some seeds are planted to figure out what your adventure is. But what I do love about this question, besides that, is that it lets you answer whatever you want, and it tells me about something cool that you want to talk about. You can talk about your dog, you can talk about your vacation, maybe you have a killer career, you can talk about absolutely anything, and you think I'm a rock star because I just pulled out this really interesting thing to start a conversation with you on. Anyone want to share I asked this question, anyone have an adventure they're willing to share? What's your adventure? What's something that gets you excited, that you like talking about? You're smiling.
I'm also a therapist.
Ooh.
And currently I am pursuing a certification in sex therapy, which is a little bit of a fun thing to tell people.
You'll make a lot of friends because
insight is what I like to talk about.
I love that. Now who's gonna talk to her casually after this, right? I'm gonna be like, hey, what's up? No, it's so cool.
That's kind of the dynamic.
I love that because people are very nervous to talk about it, and you've just opened up a conversation that's very fun for people who might not always be like, oh, I don't talk about it, but I kind of want to talk about it. I will say I was a human sexuality discussion leader in college, so I don't talk about it, but I'm like, yeah, such a great subject. So right now we just bonded, and now I think that you're like a special unicorn that I want to talk to more after this. It's like, oh, I want to talk to you about this stuff. I went to Indiana University. We went to the Kinsey Institute, so it's all sex research. Anyway, see, look at this. Do you see this conversation happening here? I'm more jazzed about this. I don't know if this is more fun for you.
I'm very excited about that.
Right? You can have that with people, but you got to tap into what people are excited about. And I figured maybe you think of me a little bit more positively after that. See, there we go, cool. That's my goal, right? It's that, oh, this cool person asked me this cool question. Okay, oh, I like and then what's the secret? The secret is to, people love talking about themselves, and if they're talking about their favorite thing, for some reason, you don't have to say words, but if you're getting other people to talk, they think you're a genius. It's like a weird networking bonus if you're listening to people talk sometimes. Depends on who you're talking to. So, what's your adventure is my token question. You can find one that works for you. There's a few other tips and questions that might be fun for you. And I forgot that I had this. What brought you here, right? That's a great, easy question if you're at an event, if you're networking, because everybody's got an answer. Actually, I didn't even write this in here, but if you ask what brought you here, and let's say, oh, Joe Schmo invited me, and maybe Joe Schmo's a connector guy. Oh, Joe Schmo, I know Joe Schmo. He's the guy that knows all the people. That also tells you who they know in the room and who they might be able to introduce you to. So sometimes asking what brought you here can get you lots of good information. Oh, I'm part of this other social group that I love. Oh, I want to know more about that social group. It gives you a lot more to kind of bounce off of rather than what you do, because it kind of has an ending point sometimes if it's not interesting. This kind of leaves it more open-ended. But anyway, I actually want to know what brought you here. Does anyone want to share kind of what brought them here, some nice little brief nuggets so I get a little sense of what brought you here and maybe what you want to leave with? Yeah.
One thing is I want to professionalize as a visual artist.
Ooh.
And I need to grow my social media to do that well.
Ooh.
So I want to learn ways to effectively use social media to promote your craft.
Very nice. I want to bring you to my social media focused, super social media focused ones too. Okay. I want to bring you to all of them. It's a little bit of mishmash of networking and social media here, but there's gonna be some stuff that you can take for. It's gonna relate. I love that. So you're a visual artist, you said? Yeah. Is there a thing that gets you jazzed about what
portraits.
your
portraits? I love getting to know them, and I love interpreting them.
Ooh, is there any random unique people that you've done portraits of?
I did meet a guy on the red line, and I got off at his stop to ask him if I could do a portrait of him.
What?
And he said yes, and I got his phone number, and he was 70, and I was 21 at the time. But we never.
Oh,
But that's who I am. So.
How cool is that? Cool. I think that's pretty cool. You just went up to a dude and you're like, I want to paint your face.
I got a 3-stop.
Oh, that's some commitment to the art.
It's like a Pixar character. It's insane.
Oh, how cute is that? And now look, you've just told me a story about you. Now have we connected with her a little bit more?
Good.
Don't you feel good?
And we're talking. I get it.
See, right? There's a good thing, right? I'm pulling out, and now all these people now know more about you. That's more interesting than I do this one thing, and we pull out the juicy details.
Yeah.
So what other thoughts? What brought you here? Things maybe that you want to take out from today that you're willing to share with the group if you're comfortable? And I make it open. So people, feel free to share. I know we heard a little bit from you earlier. Anybody? Oh. Okay, I want you to think about it, and I want to infuse your questions and your experiences and your knowledge into this whole presentation, because it is a discussion-based too. So I'm keeping that all in mind. So here we go. Let's see, what's my next one? Oh, so here's a little nugget. Share excitement. I love to share exciting things about people. So what we just did here, I want to find out cool stuff about people. If they're sharing something that they're excited about, it's going to benefit me. It's going to benefit me to have a more interesting conversation with them. So I found out something that you're passionate about, I'm more excited about it. I found out what you're passionate about, I'm more excited about it. And we can have a 3-hour conversation if you wanted to, right? So I like to pull that out. So something that we hear a lot in the business world is it's a lot of the business relationships come from personal relationships, right? You've all heard this, right? So you need to find something personal to get excited about. I would be more excited to work with someone who also, let's say, had the same kind of pet that I did, right? If I found that out about them. But most people, this is maybe a social media tip, is that most people are very generic and boring on the internet. But like, you're not generic and boring, you're very interesting. You're not generic and boring, you're very interesting. But how many people are seeing all this coolness online? Right now, a lot of y'all, I don't know anything about you. So you're a blank slate to me. All I have to judge on is your appearance. I don't know that you're like a superhero in your other life. I have no idea. So the more nuggets I hear from people, the more I can have a more exciting conversation and find connections. Actually, I didn't even put this in here, but my business card has all these fun facts about me. It's obnoxious. Have you seen this? You haven't seen it. I haven't given it to you, right? It's ridiculous, but it gives people a chance to get to know what I like. I like bubble tea. Anyone else like bubble tea? I love, right? Like, I put that in there because I can have a conversation about something fun. And how would we figure that out? By just meeting each other. But now we can have a weird conversation about the best bubble tea in Chicago. Anyway, hi, come on in. So that's something I like to do. I want to get people to talk about the thing that excites them the most, because people, that's more fun. Like, who doesn't want to talk about things that they're passionate about? Anyway, so that's what I like to say. Get people excited. So,
Could I ask a question?
yeah, jump in. Yeah, please jump in with questions. Absolutely.
So sometimes when I'm like networking and I'm like meeting a bunch of new people, and someone will say like where they're at with something, and I'm like really genuinely interested, I'll ask a follow-up that like would elicit them to be like honest about like where they're at with stuff. And now that you're saying that, I'm like, maybe I should just let it be all positive, because like someone's like, oh yeah, I was getting back into like, you know, sports, I had this injury or whatever they say, and I'm like, oh my god, that must have been like really challenging to not do the thing you love for.
Ooh.
Like that's what I would say, because that's like a real conversation.
Sure.
Is that like a bad idea because you want them to stay on like?
I like, yeah, please. I like that. I like that. But what are some other thoughts in the room? Please jump in.
Connecting with them on a personal level, you know, I think it's genuine. It's not like it would be. I feel like you probably feel inauthentic for you to be like super giddy about that, you know. Like it'd be kind of.
But like it's exciting that they're back into sports, but like my mind goes to like, oh wow, let's talk on the personal level.
Well, you
like,
can relate to them and be like, oh my gosh, like I can I mean, obviously I've never been in that, you know, experience before. That must have been really difficult for you, like, you know, like you were like excited to get back in, then you can turn it to the positive. So, I mean, that's just my thought.
I like it. No, I want this. Everyone in here is a genius in their own universes, and I want as many of you all to share your experiences in this. So, like just like what you just did, I love when people jump in and share thoughts, whether you agree, disagree, or have enhancements. Like, I want to hear it. There's a lot of people with a lot of really good lived experiences that can add so much to this. I actually have a slide in here where we're going to put in our own ideas. So, yeah, jump in.
You know, I get the idea of finding a shared commonality and using it as a
Sure.
point. The issue I have is like
Please.
The second part.
Yeah.
Let's say we both like bubble tea. Like we can exchange our favorite bubble tea places, but after that I'm.
Are you out? You're like, where do I go? Like, how do we go? Hey, bubble tea. Hey, buy my thing. Like, no, hire me for a thing. Like, it is a little tricky, but ideally, like, and this is good. I want to hear different perspectives on this. Like, ideally, that comfort level that now comes from like us sharing something that like is yummy, like maybe that'll make it a little bit more easy to get the conversation going. I don't know. It's a tricky one, but it could also go into like, where do you live? What neighborhood are you in? Oh, you live by there. Oh, have you tried this place? Like, there's ways to transition it, but like, I want like the goal is for you to feel comfortable, right? Not to feel like you have to do it meticulously. Like, I like to think that once you have that good opener, it's a little easier to have other conversations too. But if you have other thoughts, please jump in, because it's a tricky one. I see where you're coming from. It's very tricky. Yeah, go for it.
You know, my sense about networking is that you're talking to people with the goal of getting something from them.
Oh.
And so that's the piece that feels artificial to me.
Definitely.
Sure.
And so, if you're going to a networking event, your goal is to get as many business cards as you can so that you can follow up and have coffee with those people. But what I've found over time is that it takes a really long time to develop friendships and relationships with people. So I'm just wondering, is there a shortcut to that? That's not like, you have to do it in one networking session. It's like there's a fine line between knowing somebody for 10 years and finally, they say, oh, I might have a job for you.
Right.
But it's taken 10 years to get there. Versus, you go to a networking event and you meet people and you're like, well, who has something for me? That feels artificial to me.
100%.
So, what's the fine line there?
I love that. It's a great question. I love that. So it is a fine line. You're absolutely right. It should never be fake. Also, to cash out immediately or in that one night is a really bad goal. That is a really, really bad goal. Unless you're going to the networking event with I know that this lady who runs this company is going to be there and she's going to hire me for this big job maybe, and I want to get in front of her, that's a very specific goal. But if you're I'm going to network and put business cards and find a job, that should not be your goal. Yes, you can follow up and do coffees, but if somebody asks me for a coffee and they're not really interesting to me and they're wasting my time, I don't want to, this is just me. I don't want to meet for coffee. It's not what it's a big ask. So what I do is like what I said with Justice, me coming to Nextdoor over and over again for 3 years or whatever, there's even folks in here, I know you guys a little bit, there's some other folks that I met at other events. I've gotten to know them better, and that's where that 10-year thing happens. So that's kind of the long thing, and that's what people should be doing, more long-term thinking. But the short-term thinking, there's some ways and some hacks if you know what you're going for. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, is if you know there's certain companies that you want to meet people at, if there's ways to kind of get in front of those people, and that's a whole other strategy, but you need a little bit of both to make it work. I'm curious what your thoughts are after sharing that. Or yeah, you have some thoughts over here. Yeah, go for it.
In a couple of weeks, I'll be going to, lack of a better word, it's like a speed dating for networking. So you're only going to have maybe 2 to 5 minutes, and then you're going to hit it and quit it, go to the next
Hit it and quit it. I love it.
So I would like to know some good one-liners so that I don't just repeat the same line for the whole room for the whole 2 hours.
What do you mean, a one-liner, like something you can do to introduce yourself?
That opener, the line opener, so that every person that you talk to, that room won't get the same thing, why are you here today? You need at least maybe 10 good ones.
Ooh. So interesting question. If anyone has ideas, please jump in. I would say if you start it to find out more about them, if you know that they're you ask them what they're interested in, or you hear a little bit about them, you can cater whatever the heck your response is going to be as something that's connected to what they do. So a lot of times, a lot of my stuff is from the business angle of oh, I work for this company, here's my, we do this, and this. Oh, well, wait, maybe I can potentially help that company, or let me tell them something that relates to their company, or, oh, I worked with so-and-so, that might be a good referral, whatever it is. I usually use what they've given me to kind of curate what I'm going to, response. Because basically, if I go in there pitching, here's me, I do this, and this, I don't know what pitch or what thing I need to start with. So by hearing them out a little bit, it gives me kind of a guideline of what things I might be able to want to say. And that way, every single conversation will be totally different, because you'll base it off of maybe something that sparked for you hearing their intro. And then you put the pressure on them, too, which I think is kind of nice. I don't know. What do you think of it? I want to hear different thoughts in the room. This is totally a discussion, open-ended, and I like this. There's not one right answer, but there are different insights and experiences that could be relevant to you. Any responses, thoughts?
I think people like talking about themselves, so anything to elicit curiosity from them. I think that's
yes.
What's your adventure? That gives maybe there's a lot of hooks that you can hook onto. Maybe there's some personal hooks, maybe there's some professional hooks. It's open-ended, and then maybe there's.
I'm going to add that to the.
It's pressure is when you at an event. You walk across the room, shake someone's hand that you don't know. If I had to go there and meet her.
Yeah.
Okay, now what am I going to say? I don't know her. You got to figure out what is going to be the opening line.
So I like my.
Hi, and my name is.
Here we go. I got some slides for you here.
Even you just saying that gives me anxiety.
So here's.
Just all the memories of trying to do that.
Here's an example. You're at a networking event. Maybe there's a buffet. and you're trying to figure out what the opening line is. So I'm in this line, there's all these people, some of them are standing by themselves, some of them have a buddy. What do you talk to them about? I always say talk about something you have in common. But wait, Shiley, I don't know these people. What do we have in common? I don't know. But wait a second, you're all standing miserably in this long line. This line sucks. Hey, person in line, ugh, this line is awful, right? It's really bad. Where'd you come from today? Oh, I came from here. Oh, cool, I'm from there. Oh yeah, why'd you come out here today? And then you can, 1, 2, 3, you get one conversation leads to another. Like, I almost want you, like, I almost want to encourage you to ask a question to someone in this room.
I want to sound cruel, but for me, I think
Please.
It's easier to talk to network with men than women, because with men, I can get in a safe zone because I watch a lot of sports. So you can just hook me in with the sports.
Ooh, I like that idea. Talk sports. Interesting.
It's really not right or wrong answer. I mean, you're not going to get into do you like the Cubs and White Sox better, because it's going to be kind of short.
I like that.
But if you go
Oh, that's going to be juicy.
the NFL to the NBA, and then you throw in some hockey, I mean, you can get the men talking if you bring up the sports.
Yeah, that's good.
I like that.
I'm not going to do it. It's a good tip.
I mean, look,
I've done
there's,
that.
I mean, this is a weird thing. So I spent a lot of time in Amsterdam, and like their go-to thing is talking about the weather. Like it's officially a thing.
That's
like, hey,
amazing. I wish we
how's
could
the
do that
weather?
here.
Oh my God, Chicago
We're
weather.
not supposed to do it. It's like a cliche,
Is that-
but like, I want to talk about it every single day.
They've embraced it over there in the Netherlands.
That's
They're
so
like,
great.
this is what we do. We talk about the weather. We don't talk politics. It's like crazy. It's not bad. So if you want to go Dutch. But like, yeah, you could go sports. You could go something specific. You could say, oh, have you seen that new restaurant? There's a lot of stuff you can do just in the same place. Oh, did you see what they're serving tonight? Oh, who brought you here? How did you hear about this event? They're all is it bigger? Maybe I'll ask you all this. Is it bigger if you're starting the conversation more than it is maintaining it? Like, anyone thoughts? Is that?
For me, it's maintaining it.
Maintaining it's more stressful. We have some people, a lot of people, who is maintaining is more stressful. Oh, interesting.
Also, I feel a little better now that we've talked about getting into it. I do feel like a sense of like, okay, I am starting a conversation with someone I do not know. That's what that is, and like ways to do that. But there's this moment where like you're like, okay, we've gotten what we can get. What do we do?
How do you
now?
end it?
Neither of us wants to appear rude, and then someone keeps talking and no one wants to be there anymore.
Oh God,
Not that
that's
always
awful.
happens. Like sometimes it's great, but like that feeling is like dreadful.
It is dreadful.
So that's what I'm thinking about.
So how to close a conversation is kind of your thing.
Sure, or like make it better.
Or go to the next
Revive it.
level. Well, asking questions is such an easy one. I like to think. Would that solve it? I mean, that's a simple one. I can go a little more in depth.
Please, yeah.
You can go asking questions. You can always ask somebody more questions because people like to talk about themselves, as we emphasize, they do.
Yeah.
You can say also like I always look for body language. Like I also go to a lot of events where everybody's a crazy networker like me, and it's like, well, Shiley, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I hope we can connect. Do you have a card? You take the card and you just walk away if you need to end it. Like I've done that, and these are all intense people that are like, I need to go figure out what the bigger fish is over there, so I'm gonna leave Shiley and I'm gonna go skedaddle that way. Asking more questions is another thing to do. The other thing, I think I have this on a later slide. I love LinkedIn so much. This is one of my like stupid fun hacks to get conversation going. Let's say you like somebody and you think they're interesting. You can say like, oh, can I connect with you on LinkedIn? Maybe Facebook, but say I want to connect with you on LinkedIn. I now go to one of your profiles and I say, oh, you also know, let's say Megan. You also know Megan. I know Megan. How do you know Megan? Now you've got 10 minutes of conversation on how you know Megan and this weird thing that you have in common. Or, oh, you went to Indiana University? I went to Indiana University. Let's talk about it. You have a thought. I see. I love it. I want to hear your thought. But that starts some conversation too, and that can either close your conversation or give you more things to talk about.
Can I ask a follow-up
And
question?
yes, and then I want to hear this too. So hold on to all that. I want to hear, yeah.
The follow-up would be, what if you're with someone who's like not very practiced at this yet, so they don't ask you anything? So you've like asked your questions, and then it's like awkward because you can't just like start talking about yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Well, think about, then it's like, okay, is this person worth your time?
Right.
Maybe they're not, because like not everybody's going to be exciting for you. And I think that for me is like prioritizing people. Like not every person in this room is going to open up doors. Like when I'm going networking, I'm looking to meet small business owners. Those are the people that hire me. I'm not looking for people who, I'm not looking for I don't know, I'm not looking to meet truck drivers. Like, I'm not gonna go to a truck driver rally. I don't know, it's very random. But like, I'm gonna go to where my people are. So that, first off, that takes away a layer of it. And something that you said too, like you're going to a networking event. I'm always careful. Usually I'm like, my rule that I tell people is like, if it has networking event in the title, it might not be a good one. Because the best networking is at events where certain people congregate that are in the market that you want to reach. Some of them are good that have networking in the title, but I'm very weary about it. Because if you're going to a networking event, everyone there is, let's say, a job seeker, they might not be able to help you the same way that, like, if you go to, there's an event called Built-in Brews where tech companies hire people. If you go into that room and you find somebody with the t-shirt of the company that's hosting the event, maybe they can hire you. That might be a better use of your networking energy. It depends on who you want to meet, and if you're going to a room where those people can't open doors for you, you're basically wasting your networking time. So that's also something to keep in mind, and this is where I've kissed a lot of frogs in terms of, like, we saw my little slide with the name tags. A bunch of those events sucked. They did not have my people, they did not open doors, but some of them were really great, and I keep going to them because they have my audience. So that's also part of it, is that you want to go to events where the people that you want to meet are going. And then you're not wasting your time, because if somebody's awkward like that, they're probably not somebody who's a connector who might know somebody that can hire you.
Or it's just like, ask me one thing so I can say, like, stop asking you all these questions.
So maybe, like, you gotta, jump to someone else. Who knows? You gotta do something like that. You had some thoughts there too, and I want to make sure other people can jump in too.
So 2 things.
Yeah, please.
This thing of going on LinkedIn and seeing that, so-and-so knows somebody that you know. And
sure.
I've done that. I've referenced that. And they go, oh, I just met her at a networking event. I don't know anything about her. So it's like, that's kind of a dead end.
That might not be a good networker person. That's like,
The other thing I want to say is that, when I've gone to networking events, it's like, I'm invested in having a conversation with the person, getting to know them. But I see eyes looking around the room. They're looking for their next target. They're not really interested.
They're probably not your person. Screw them. Like, just move on. Not every person is going to be your magical unicorn. Screw them. But yeah, they might, and I've done that. There's sometimes I'm talking to someone, I'm like, I don't know what I can do for you, but I want to say, hey, it's been a great 5-10 minutes. I be kind, and I say, hey, I hope we can meet other people. Or the other thing is, this is a weird one. There's a guy named Robbie Samuels. He has a workshop called Art of the Schmooze, and he's great networking inspiration for me. I love him. Robbie Samuels is great. So he has this thing called croissants, not bagels. Let's say you're at a networking event. Maybe you're in a group. If you're in a group and there's, how can I give you an example of this? Can I have like would 4 people volunteer to stand up right now? Can I pull a few? Yeah, come on up. I'm totally sourcing him on this. You should find, okay, so come on this way. Here's what we're gonna do. Come on, yes, okay, we're all gonna stand in a circle, closed circle, right? Okay, so we're all standing here, right? And then close it up, right? So who has seen this at a networking event? You've seen this, right? We're all chatting, oh my God, like, how are you? Here's my card. Don't do this card charades. Now let's say, okay, so now look, is there one more person I can have to volunteer? Anybody? One more? Yeah, both of you? Ooh. Okay, come on in. Michelle, come, try to get into the circle. Can you do it? Could you find a way into this? How could you join this conversation?
Hi.
Oh, this is so awkward, right? Yeah. So if you're like one of these people that's in this circle, here's what you do. You open it up, right? So there's this trick he does. Here, let me see if I can move this way. You're gonna put one foot out. Let's see if I can go in the center. You're gonna go croissanting it. So literally it's like this pose where if this is the circle, I'm putting one foot like this way and one foot out. So like, let's say now if I'm standing here, I might go like this, and then y'all are still closed up over here. I might go like this and talk to you. Now, Michelle, do you want to sneak in here? Oh, look, now she can join the circle. So maybe look for those circles. That might be a fun way to jump in. That way you don't have to run the conversation. Some loudmouth like me might be here and be like, oh my God, who are you guys? Let's talk. And then you can that's something he talks about. So keeping the circle open, if you're that person in the circle, open it up. If you're out of the circle, like Michelle, you can find a way to sneak into someone else's circle that looks comfortable and not terrifying. Thank you for volunteering. Claps for you guys. So Robbie Samuels, look him up. He's got a podcast. He's in like the East Coast somewhere, and he's a great mentor of mine. I love him. So he's got great workshops. So yeah, there's some nuggets there, and there's some thoughts there. Is that helpful for some folks? I want to make sure. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. This is more of me really need to know this, but I feel there's other people that could probably fit for this question. So say, for example, I'm at a networking event. I'm an older worker, and then I go to networking event, and there's someone younger like her
Sure.
at the event, and then I want to go over and meet her. What are good lines where you talking to millennials where you're going to find some bond and that you're not going to have to really dig and pull to think, well, what am I going to say to her?
Ooh, thoughts? Do we have some thoughts? I'm a very proud millennial in this room. I love
like
it.
If
But
you have a son or daughter about the same age as the person you're trying to connect with,
Ooh.
what are you going to do to open that line up?
what?
I think I would focus on the atmosphere. I talk about the food, or
Love
I
it.
talk about how you got here, or you know, do you know anything about the speaker this evening? Oh, what time does the event end? Something about the particular event until you have something else that's a little bit more personal.
I love that.
I'll just say it's like reassuring that you have those feelings, because when I go and talk to people who are different age groups, and I'm not even a millennial, I'm like the next generation apparently. So, like you have to.
Oh,
like,
get some Gen Z.
I worry about those things. I mean, how am I gonna go talk to like these people who are like very well established in their careers and stuff like that, and that makes me worry, because I'm like what words do like I don't know what
You
words
think you're gonna be boring?
Well, just like also I want them to take me seriously, right? But I also want to come off as respectful and considerate of their time. So I'm just trying to be cognizant of the space, and that you know, they may have more important people to be talking to, and I'm really borrowing their time. So I just want to respect that. So sometimes words are difficult when I say them out loud, so I just like try to figure that out. But
I thank you for sharing that, because I see from you saying that generational thing of what to say can go both ways.
yeah,
Sure. I love that.
Everybody for the most part probably feels like that.
I love that.
So what are your thoughts on what you could say in that type of situation?
Well, I love that, like, you have no fear. Sometimes using generic stuff, like where you're at, who invited you, like that can start a conversation. Oh, what's up? How did you get connected to this? Or how are you connected to this space? I like, how are you connected to this space? Gives you so much information. Oh, I volunteer with Bill in the softball league with cats. I can't make up analogies right now. But like, you never know what crazy story is gonna come out. So, I mean, the open-ended ones, I think, are really safe. Maybe, I don't know if I like to think that they're useful, but I want to make sure that, like, my goal is to make you feel a little bit more comfortable. So I want to try to find stuff that's relevant. So if it's not totally relevant, we can dig a little deeper and brainstorm a little more. Yeah.
Another thing we haven't been touched on
Sure.
is like complimenting people. Like a genuine compliment is something that, you know, can really make. I know a lot of my guy friends, they never get complimented. So like, I mean, obviously keep it respectful, but right, like, you know, like if there's something that you're wearing, like I like your earrings genuinely. And
Your outfit is amazing.
yeah. So like those little things too, right? I mean, those
That's
things
what
make a
people
big
love
sense.
when you start complimenting.
It's just true.
It's
It's
amazing. I'm going to come back to you, by the way, too.
Or just the way that they carry themselves too. Like, hey, like you seem like you are really, I don't know, like graceful. Maybe that's terrible, but like, you know, something like that. Like it doesn't have to be about what they're wearing, because sometimes I'm like, I hate your outfit, but you know, something.
Just don't say
Yeah,
it.
yeah, just don't.
No,
say
don't
that.
be fake. That's
Yeah.
like, that's wrong. Don't be
say that,
fake.
But you compliment that on something that's actually, you know, that you know.
I love this. So this is oh, actually this isn't the slide, but there is a slide. No, Twitter is a portion of this. I didn't go to a lot of the slides. Where is it? No, where'd it go? I have a great example of this. Oh, this one. No. Wait, this is one. Okay, so the complimenting thing is such an easy one. Your outfit. Oh, I love your outfit. Or I love how you did your hair. People love hearing nice things about themselves, especially when nobody ever says nice things to ourselves. Who's had that bad? Like, how often are people saying nice things to us? We're probably, in my head at least, I'm always saying negative stuff to me. So when someone says something nice, I'm like, I think I'm going to cry. Thank you. That's so sweet. So I've used this hack. This is a great one. Found this lady, Jeannie Walters. Anyone heard of her? I don't know who she is, but now I know her a little better. She did this insane TED Talk at TEDx Naperville that like got a bunch of views, was super interesting. I was fascinated. What did it say what it was about? Oh, mutual. Anyway, I don't remember what it was about, but love making people smile. Maybe that's what it was about, and I love making people smile. So I went to her Twitter, and I wrote her a message, or wrote her a tweet, and I said nice things to her. Hey, I'm glad I accidentally saw your TED Talk. I love making people smile. I'm involved with TEDx Naperville. I gave her some social context, how we're connected to each other. I said, hey, we have a lot of mutual connections, so she knows I'm not crazy if I'm friends with these people that matter to her. And then I said, I want to connect with her in the future. She replies, well, this is the nicest thing I've read on Twitter in a while. Like this person who probably is very reputable in all the companies she works with just responded to me, no problem, willy-nilly, like cash, being like, you are awesome and made my day. If I bump into her in an event, how do you think she's going to feel when she actually meets me in person? Great. And this is one seed. Like, I don't know if this person's going to give me my career. I don't know who's going to give me my future. And it could be her. Maybe it's not her. But I like her. And I have a feeling that if she recognizes that I'm the girl from Twitter that wrote this to her, she's probably going to feel a little bit better about me. Makes sense? Is that believable? Does that make sense? I said a nice thing to her. Now, this whole section, I put Twitter on there. I'm not telling you that Twitter is the platform you need to spend all your energy on. But Twitter is the secret unicorn platform where you can get a hold of people that are very hard to get a hold of. So this lady, if I emailed her, it would probably go to spam. But Twitter, since nobody talks to her on Twitter, my lovely little tweet that popped up probably made her feel special. And I know when somebody sends me a nice little tweet on Twitter, I feel really special. Because I'm like, oh, somebody took the time to tweet me? Like, oh my God, how nice is that? So you don't have to have a whole big fancy Twitter. But if you want to get a hold of cool people, like, oh, who's the other one that I had on here? Who's the other one? This one, like Elon Musk's brother. I got a hold of him on Twitter. I'm a degree of separation from Elon Musk now because Elon Musk's brother liked a bunch of my tweets from TEDx. You'll see a lot of TEDx in here. I love TEDx events. He was at TEDx Chicago and I tweeted him and he exists on Twitter and responds. So who knew? I'm a degree from Elon Musk. Like not as hard as you think. This lady, anyone heard of Judy Gold? Anybody? She's a comedian. Okay. Well, she's a comedian, and one of my friends obsessed with her, and she's like, oh, how crazy it would be if we could interview her, which was like, for her, it was like impossible. I'm like, we have a Twitter, let's tweet at her. So I used our account, this is another organization I work with, I tweeted at her asking her, promoting first off her show, because she could always use more promotion, and saying, hey, we'd love to interview you. She retweeted us to her 50,000 people and responded, and now I've gotten a hold of this feasibly very famous person. Now, she's popular, but she's not so popular that she doesn't read all of her messages. Look, I just got a hold of her very easy. What if this is, so how does this relate to job seekers? Let me see if I have this on here. Okay, I'm going to tell you about the job seeker part. So how does this relate to job seekers? Let's say, and I want to make sure I get to your question. I know you had something. You're holding on to it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Hold on to it. Okay. Let's say I want to work with, is there any companies that you guys are eyeballing to some of you might want to work with? Anyone that can show? Oh, yes, they're delicious. I got a bunch of it on clearance at a store that stopped selling them, and I was like, mine. So Tiesta Tea. Behind Tiesta Tea, there is somebody I like to call the lonely social media manager. The person that's doing all the social media for Tiesta Tea. Now, Tiesta Tea might have some good traction, but maybe they're not the most popular. And as someone who is the lonely social media manager for some Twitter accounts, if you're that nice person that's always liking and commenting on our posts, we notice that. Which I know from one of the accounts I manage, there's a couple people that always comment. Chances are I'm going to be nice to that person, and I can help that person because they're now helping my job get a little easier. And keep in mind, social media person is probably a very social person within the company. So that person, if you build a relationship with them, they might know the hiring manager, they might know the rest of the marketing department, they might know whoever else at the company, and they can connect you. They are literally your guide into meeting anybody else at the company. And most people don't do Twitter very well. So if you're that one nice person that's writing a tweet or reading their tweets at all, you're going to look amazing. So use that as a gateway drug to get to the rest of the people at the company. Because as somebody who's in that role, my job is to really know what's going on at the company. Oh, here's our new product that we're testing. Oh, here's a new campaign that we're coming out with. Oh, here's a new flavor of tea that's happening. Or here's our CEO doing something crazy. I would now have some relationship with everybody, and I can now connect you to all the people at Tiesta Tea. Makes sense? It's a weird strategy. You think if you email Tiesta Tea's marketing department, they're going to respond to you? Probably not. But if it's public and it's on Twitter, you think they're going to respond to you? Yes. So Twitter, for this purpose, I think is the most jackpot underutilized resource because you can get in front of people in a much more fun way. Interesting? I know, Twitter. Who knew Twitter? Okay, I'm not telling you make a Twitter account and post 100 times a day. Just if you want to get a hold of somebody, look to see how popular they are on Twitter. Can I give you the other crazy story that happened on here? You guys can get a preview of the rest of this. Look, all these things that I might talk about. Oh, no. Oh, I love that I did this.
How can you get your LinkedIn account up to 500 connections?
Oh, you just take time doing it.
I'm up to like 350. I need to put
This one. Okay, hold on to that because you want quality people. You don't want to add people willy-nilly, but I'm going to come back to that. Here's another example of Twitter for the benefit of people. I love it. Oh, and you're going to get access to potentially to get on all these slides after this, by the way. If you provide me a little bit of feedback, you can get all these slides in your inbox immediately. So I'll tell you how to do that later. So I was at a conference. I was working an event for a company called MongoDB. They had all these like programmery dudes coming in for this conference. And I'm at this desk where we're helping customers. This guy comes up to me, and he's like, oh, like there's this math entertainer coming in to speak. And I'm like, there's something called a math entertainer? I was like, ooh, like this is fun. I like math. So it's like, yeah, the math entertainer's coming, and he's, you know, I want to get an autograph or a booklet for my son, who's wherever the heck he's from. I was like, do you know if he's selling books? And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't care. This is not my job to figure this out. My colleague was going to send him away, and I was like, wait, I'm going to try something. Have you tried tweeting him? And he's like, oh, I don't use Twitter. I'm like, let's go look him up. So I sat with this guy, and I looked him up on Twitter. This guy, Matt Parker, I don't know, he had like maybe, 50,000 followers, not a ton. I'm like, he's popular, but he's not like too popular. It's like, why don't we tweet him? So I sent a tweet to this guy asking him like, you know, do we want to buy some of your stuff for son, whatever. And I send him a tweet, and the guy goes away, and like 2 hours later, the guy comes back, and I'm like, I didn't see anything at that point with a response. I check my phone, and there's a response from him. I think I have one copy of my book in my suitcase I can bring after my talk, tell him where to meet me. So I responded to him on Twitter, told him where they would meet, told him his name, and Paul from Utah got the one autographed copy that he brought from Europe for his son to take home. Because I thought, why don't I get a hold of him immediately via Twitter? This stuff it's very feasible. If you know who you want to talk to and who you want to work with or who might be valuable to you, it's way more fun and way less stressful and way less BS than an email, right? So,
Can I go back to,
yes. And I know we had other questions here too.
Here, she wants to get in touch with this company, so you're recommending that she talks to the social media manager. How does she make the ask to get connected then to the hiring department? I mean, is it a public ask then, or
you could do it via message, public. You can do a lot of different ways. Okay. But I like if you do like this at Stand Up Maths, like it's sort of private. You can tweet that out and say, hey, like, oh, I applied for this job. I think I've done that before. Like, hey, I applied for this job, and then I ask follow-up questions on it, or is there any insights you can share with me, or anybody you can give me? You can ask that stuff. It's not the same as like, you know, going up and asking someone for a favor. It's like you're putting it out. It's like their job and my job when I'm behind an account is to help you, is to help customers in some way. And if it helps them to find a good candidate via Twitter, maybe they're going to want to help you. And they're literally, we have to respond to everything. Like, we're not going to like ding you for it. It's not like I'm the hiring manager and you're harassing me for a job. Our job is to talk to you. That's what we're paid for. Okay. I know you.
Put out in public. That's
you could.
Everybody can see it. Right?
You could, but like this is like when you do at somebody, like it's more hidden. Okay. It's like unless somebody's looking at your tweets and replies, you can do that, or you can send them a message. But like you don't have to ask the whole thing up front, but you can also send them a message. A lot of these accounts will have, if it's like a company, they might make their messages open to everybody, so you could send them a message, and usually somebody will reply within a day or less, hopefully. And I know you had a question over there from earlier.
Actually, I had 2 questions.
Sure, yeah.
Now that we're talking about Twitter, so
I love Twitter.
Is it worth it for us to build up our own Twitter followers for our personal accounts?
What do you mean?
Like,
say that one more time.
Like right now I have a Twitter account.
Yes, check. That's already like half the work.
Yeah, but I haven't put any work into it.
It's okay.
So I don't have any followers.
That's what I tell people. Like, don't worry about how much work it is. Don't worry. But like I tell people, have the accounts. Even if you're not going to do anything with them, just have them and just leave them, because you never know when Twitter is going to become super popular again, because of other reasons besides the government. Like, you never know what account's going to blow up. Like, I didn't really care about Instagram. I still don't care about Instagram, but I made an Instagram account when my little cousins were like very into Instagram. And now I have like 500 followers on Instagram that I didn't have to do anything for because people started adding me because I was on there early. So this is general social media. If you're looking to potentially market something in the future, just have accounts. You don't have to do anything with them. Put a bio up there, maybe put a banner image. Look good. So if somebody's looking at you on Twitter, at least have nice information on there. You don't have to try. You don't have to do anything. Like, unless that's like your game and your audience is on Twitter, like, don't stress about it. But use it as like almost like an alternative email, which is cool. At minimum, it's just like that. It's useful. Yes, and you had another.
Yeah, my second question was, so when I'm at a networking event.
Sure.
Like I'm naturally an introvert, and like if I were at a bus, I would not start talking to people.
Yes, awkward. Chicago is. It's very weird.
So at these events, it feels fake because I'm going up to people and starting these conversations for the purpose of starting a conversation, and it seems fake and forced.
Yeah. Well, I hate that too. So I'll say this: there's events where people are welcoming and open, and like I like to think that after this, like you've learned a little bit about people here, that maybe you'll talk to each other afterwards. But there's also events where everyone's like, I'm stuffy, or like, if you don't know my cool friends, I'm not talking to you. Who's been to those events, right? I hate those too. I'm probably as awkward as you might think you are. I'm probably worse at those events. I promise you. I know it's shocking because I'm this, but like that freaks me out. But like first off, if you go to an event, like if I'm hosting the event, I'd like to think that I will take care of you. If you come up to me and you're like, Shiley, I don't know anybody, can you introduce me to folks? I'm happy to help, right? Especially if I'm like the host or somebody that knows actually the host is very busy, but like if they're not totally busy, they're probably more than likely friendly enough to make an introduction. And hopefully, like this is, again, I kissed a lot of bad frogs for events. There's some events that are welcoming. If you go to this HR hot seat, HR people are very friendly and they're nice. They don't bite so much. So I'm like, oh, I know I'm going to talk to people there. Are those my people that might be able to hire me? I don't know. But like, there's rooms that are better and rooms that are worse. The other hack that I have for events, is this helpful if I put the slide up while I talk about it?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is distracting. Okay, here's another one. Go early. So one of my tips is go early to an event. Like some of y'all were here like a few minutes early, which is totally cool. And you get to talk to me. Maybe that makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. I don't know. But a lot of times I say the culture of the room that we're in is not set immediately. It's let's say if you come within like fashionably late, you come like 30 minutes after, you have a lot of people in there. And if all those people happen to be stuck up, not fun. But let's say we're the first, like her and I, remind me your name again? Nicole. Nicole and I were the first people in here. Naturally, since there's two of us, very easy way to have a conversation. I also want to welcome all of y'all because you chose to spend your time here today, and I want to welcome everybody. It was an easy conversation, and the culture of this room has not been set yet. So it's a nice, easy way to start a conversation. If you're like the first two people there, it's a very easy way to be like, oh, hi, you're new, I'm new too. Now let's say 10 more people show up. At least now you're comfortable. There's somebody in the room that you've kind of built almost like an alliance with. I'm thinking Survivor, like we made an alliance. Like I got your back. Or we can now double duty and double date essentially and like meet two other people that are new to the event. So that's some way that I feel more comfortable. This guy, Robbie Samuels, I don't know why he didn't come up while I was writing this. He has a good one of one of his events that he does. The first, like, if you come 15 minutes early, like he says, new people who've never been to this event, come 15 minutes early and then we'll introduce you to people. Those are great events. If somebody has an event like that, amazing. Because some events are terrible. And this is why people hate networking, because some events are terrible and they're uncomfortable, and I hate that. But then there's people like this who make it comfortable. One of the things that I do for fun, I volunteer, is we have something called the Engagers program. And so what we do is we'll have an event, and there'll be people like me that are like, literally my job is to welcome people. So if I see that you're sitting by yourself, like I do this, Creative Mornings is this Friday, I do this there too. If I'm seeing you sitting by yourself on your phone texting, I have a good feeling that maybe you're just nervous and you just want someone to make you feel welcome. I walk up and say, hi, I'm Shiley, nice to meet you. Or nice to see you. I say nice to see you. That's a great, I'm working on. Nice to see you, not nice to meet you, because if I've met you and I don't remember, that happens. I hate that it happens to me all the time. Terrible. I know too many people, it's a problem. But if I say, hi, oh, it's so nice to see you. Have you been to other Creative Morning events before? Have you been to Creative Mornings? No. Oh my gosh, cool. How did you hear about us? Like, I don't know. Online. Sure, online, great. Like, then maybe like I say, oh, have you met the sex therapist over here? You guys are both therapists. You should meet each other. Oh my gosh, hi. And I literally do this like over and over again. So if you see me at an event, be like, hi, Shiley, I saw your crazy workshop on networking. I will do that for any of y'all. Be like, oh, you should meet so-and-so. I will literally bring you over and be like, oh my God, meet. Like if you're in an event, finding someone who maybe is a connector or maybe more comfortable to help you in that situation, we will understand and we might be able to help you. And hopefully you don't have a terrible host hosting it. Is that helpful? Some insight there? Yeah.
Do you have any advice on how to find good, worthwhile networking events? I personally am a job seeker.
Ooh.
And I'm new at networking. My and I went to a few recently.
Yeah.
And, you know, they were just like random weird things where I had like nothing in common, people that,
No go?
yeah, like, you know, random characters. So where do you go to find networking?
So I want to be upfront. I work for myself. So the whole like finding a 9-to-5 job has been something that I've just avoided like plague because I just get nervous at. So I don't want to speak from like, I'm coming from a different shoes, but there are events like Built-In Brews. You pay $5 and you get like a very fancy dinner, and like a tech company is trying to hire people because they don't know how to hire and they need a shiz ton of people to work for them. Usually more engineering type folks. They have nice events. Other things like, let's say something, it's all engineering type stuff. If your company hosts events, great.
Do you know what field you want to be in, or
Yes.
what is it?
Marketing, communications, nonprofit administration,
Ooh.
like project management coordination.
Yeah, no, I think the Built-In Brews is a really great resource.
It can be for, yeah.
Yeah.
Lists, lots of lists on the internet.
Yeah, if you also go on like Eventbrite, like that's where I found
Oh,
this.
yay!
Like there's a bunch of like events on there. Like there's one at the Illinois Technology Association. They have Tech Nexus and a lot of
Oh, Tech Nexus, ooh.
Yeah, and they do a lot of like women in like tech or whatever. And like
Great.
they do a diversity thing on Monday or Friday mornings. So this Friday they're gonna have a diversity event where they have women who have something they want to talk about, obviously come and speak. But then they'll also do like a stand-up at the end where people at different companies say like, hey, I'm
Yes!
hiring. So you can go and listen to them and then you go find them, or they'll send them your emails after.
Are you talking about the Women in Tech Breakfast with General Assembly?
Mm-hmm.
That's, yeah, it's also this Friday. Those are fun events. Yeah, and she's totally right. They go and they announce it.
What?
It's totally free,
Tech
too.
Breakfast.
Tech breakfast.
Women in
It's the
Tech
Lyric
Breakfast.
Opera, 12th floor, I think. And General Assembly.
I think my internet. It's a really nice event. You hear really cool speakers. Again, a little bit tech focused, but you'll hear from different companies that might be able to hire, which is really nice. I know like Built-In Brews also does a list of, I think it's Built-In Brews or one of these tech companies is like a list of like top 100 companies in Chicago. You could stalk, because remember too, like for them to market jobs really well, like a lot of companies suck at that. So like sometimes they might only post it on their website. Like they're like, their specialty is not hiring necessarily. Their specialty is selling whatever the heck they sell. So if you look at their actual website, you might find way better jobs. So like if you look at those lists, those can also be kind of helpful. And let's say you find somebody at the company that might be cool, you can still do this like Twitter thing and say, hey, like I saw you work for this company. Some of these companies, like they get a referral bonus for like referring you. So they might not know you, but they might get some street cred if you turn out to be the right candidate. So there's some incentive for them to like talk to you. I want to show you, I have a list for you guys. I don't know if it's gonna be good for job seekers, but I wanna show you, I have a list. No, it's not on here. Why is this so slow? Okay, I love going to events. Again, like I said, I kissed a lot of frogs. Welcome to my website. So I have this page on my website. Oh, stop. Why isn't it? Oh. Yo, I'm embarrassed right now. I'm like, why can't I scroll? Is it coming? Do you see the mouse? Oh, here we go. So here's some events. Now, not all of these events are going to be for you. If you're a creative and you work as like a designer, photographer, or something, Creative Mornings is amazing. Oh, I'm popping up, friends. You get the whole Shy experience. This is kind of fun. Shy Tribe, we do like Jewish events, which are kind of fun. Nonprofit. I don't know if you're gonna find a job, but you'll meet nonprofit people, a digital nonprofit club. They usually meet once a month. They're really cool. It's usually like somebody pitching, like not pitching, they talk about some really cool expertise they have in the nonprofit world. Really good quality speakers. We had the people from Block Club Chicago show up to speak. We had somebody from Chicago Tonight come to speak to us. We had like one of the best SEO guys come speak to us. The next one is about how to host events for a nonprofit. People are a little socially awkward in that room and don't talk to each other. But like it's not like everybody's the same way, so I'm kind of like, why don't people talk to each other? But like you never know what people and what companies are represented there. So that if you want nonprofit stuff, that's a really great event. This is good if you want to go to 1871 and you're in the tech scene. It's almost like if Shark Tank was friendly, kind of. Two companies will pitch their startup, and then the rest of the time is like 15 minutes of like asking questions of the startups to help them. General Assembly, like we said, the Women in Tech Breakfast is a really lovely event. Sometimes even just talking to the speakers afterwards, if you're that one nice person that's really trying hard to appreciate the speaker, they might have a friend. Like, you want people who are connectors to say, hey, like, do you know of anybody who needs this? Because I might know somebody in my network that could be helpful to you. So you go to the connectors, like the speakers, when they have good speakers, ask them for referrals. This is really fun. It's a lot of, I'm gonna be upfront, it's a lot of like rich white dudes interviewing other rich white dudes, but they're really fancy rich white dudes, which is really, they're like people who start massive companies. Like you get people who started Grubhub, Spot Hero, somebody who literally invented Siri comes and speak at this thing. This is kind of nice. I hope this is useful. I have all these really random events. Here's the HR hot seat. If you're in HR, really fun. This is my fave. This is a lot of business women. So we come in every month and talk about our businesses. It's like business therapy. Coffee and Commerce, if you want to pitch a business. Probably not going to find a job there, but this one, maybe you'll find a job. This is Myra Talks. A lot of really kick-butt women speakers come in and do talks here every couple months. And Emily's like a fancy, awesome lawyer, so she might know people. She does employment law, so you never know who she might know that could be a referral. But this is a nice, lovely event. So hopefully that's useful. These are a bunch of events I like. Not all of these might be for everybody here. But one thing that they all do have in common is right now, all of these events happen to be free. None of these charge. So these are all events that I've gone to, and I can personally say they're wonderful. It just depends on what you're looking for.
Can I add one to that?
Yeah, sure, please.
Somebody I met at a network event here.
Oh, yay.
A freelance writer event here. I told me about this thing at Ace Hotel called Coffee Talks. It's every Wednesday, I think at 1. And those are free as well.
Coffee Talks.
And they bring in anyone into like doing good in some way. Like sometimes it's nonprofit, but they have like a comedian come in. So
ooh!
They just like it's very diverse. And like they're very networking forward. I didn't say pretty much anything all the time because I was just taking in like the amazing accomplishments of everyone there. But it was very cool and people in this room.
Would you say that very fancy people might show up there that might have opportunities maybe?
I think very impressive people who like live and work in Chicago go there, yeah.
So is that, now does it have anything called networking in the title?
No.
No, but is that a great room to network in? Yes! Now I want to.
I don't know if it's the first, just Google it, like Ace Hotel Coffee Talks, and then it's someone's, it might be every week actually.
Cool. Now I have a bunch of slides I didn't cover, but you can look through this later. The notes are kind of in there. We have a little bit of time, but not, no, I have just a smidge less of time. Is there any last kind of wrapping up questions? I didn't go through all of this, but there's lots of notes here too. If there's questions that you have coming up. Oh, elevators are a good hack. Oh, let's see. Why is this not letting me slide through? Oh, here we go. Sorry, friends. This is, I'm going to figure out how to get this thing right. Here we go. So elevators are really great if you're comfortable with it. People can't really leave, and you can kind of start a little short conversation. I've met business contacts through elevator conversations, especially at conferences. Conferences, people like to make friends with each other. That's partly why they go. So I met a guy, he's like, elevator pitch, and there was like 20 people in the elevator, and I didn't know who this guy was, and I was like, I do this, and I was like, just out of college, I'm like, I'm looking for a job, hire me, here's a door hanger that says to hire me, like ridiculous. And he's like, here's my business card, follow up with me. I had no idea, but he's actually like one of the big speakers that goes to a lot of these conferences, and he's actually very important in our community. He's a published author, he has lots of followers, and I didn't know that, but now him and I started a relationship, and now we're part of a few other cohorts together, and he's like kind of like a solid acquaintance, but I met him because of an elevator. I literally made all my friends in my dormitory my freshman, sophomore year because I made friends with them in an elevator. I have 10 seconds to be like, hey, how are you today? You never know. Let's see. Job fairs. Ooh, job fair tips? You want some job fair tips before we wrap this up? If you go to a job fair, the beginning of it, if you go early, because there's people who go in there and they're like, I'm on a mission, and they have their leather thing with all their resumes in there, and they're like, hi, portfolio, nice to meet you. They're all robots, and blah. Like, that's not my style. So I go in there early. I say hi to all the people at the booth. So let's say you're all a different company. I say, oh, nice to meet you. I'm Shiley. Oh, I want to wish you luck today, blah, blah, blah. I give some sort of nice, positive thing. If you want, you get the free swag before everyone else does. I mean, some people are in it for the swag. I don't know. You go in, you say hi, and you get to know them a little bit at the beginning. And towards the end of the day, these people, like, have been standing on their feet, listening to boring people talk about themselves and not knowing how to sell themselves, because most people don't know how to talk about themselves. They're tired. You go up to them later and be like, hey, check in with them. You were that friendly person that they remember from the beginning. How are you doing? Is it going okay? Yeah, it's going great. Like, they're going to remember you a little bit more, and it's going to make that conversation a little bit more easier. Kind of like they're going to remember you as a friendly person that gave them a little bit of empathy for their crazy long day, because they're tired. If you're the nice person that says, hey, how's your day going? I know you've probably been standing for a long time. They're going to appreciate you and think, wow, what a nice human, because everyone else is like, I have these skills and I am a robot. Like, you're the nice person that gives a damn about who they are. Super helpful. It's really good. Yeah. So that's what I kind of do. Empathy. Oh, this also helps with if you're the event host, they're probably going crazy for the first hour of the event. You give them a nice positive, you're great. You never know where that good kind of positive appreciation will come in handy later. Again, all of this is planting seeds in the long run. Unless you're targeting somebody specific at a company, then you go out and do this to that one person in a lovely way. But these are kind of the long-term things. Because if you go to that event every month and they know you, they're going to think about you for the future. So things to keep in mind. Oh, speakers at conferences. If I was, let's say, a speaker at a conference, a lot of y'all didn't know me very well before this. Some of you looked at my website, which is so sweet. If you say hi to me beforehand, I might remember you just a little bit more. Especially if I don't know anybody at the conference, right? If I don't know anybody there, if I don't know any of y'all, and you're the nice person who says, hi, I just want to say I'm excited to hear your talk, or I Googled you, or whatever, I'm going to appreciate, I think you're a rock star, Nicole, already, extra, right? Because you said hi to me, and you looked at my website, I'm like, oh my God, I love you, I just want to give you love. So it's a nice little hack to kind of get a connection with someone. Plus, after the presentation, let's say I just give it a Tim Robbins, what's his name? Tony Robbins. He's interesting. So I just gave a Tim Robbins, yeah, everybody, we're motivated. He's gonna get 100 people now that everyone knows he's cool, coming up to him and being like, hey, I wanna talk to you. When you see a good speaker, this thing on Tech Breakfast thing, they're all, Women in Tech Breakfast, they're all going to get swarmed with people afterwards. But if you're the person that read their bio before, you're like, wow, this person is cool, I want to know her, and you say hi to her before she even opens her mouth, she's going to give 3 times more a damn about you at the end of the presentation.
I'm noticing how many times social anxiety interferes with the instructions that you're giving, because I love what you're saying.
I thank you for that. Tell me, please, because I don't know what that's like.
What I would do, I love your tip.
Please enhance or debate, whatever.
Right, so I'd be like, I don't want to bother her because she's preparing for her talk. So I'm going to be the annoying asshole who wants to introduce myself before she's talking, and I know that if I'm in the zone, I'd be focused. So I'd over-empathize or whatever it is, and then be like, you need to get out of her way. That's what I would do. I don't
Depends
know
on who it is.
Empathy. I don't know if it's true or not.
It might be true for some.
That's the thing about battling some of the advice.
So like what Nicole did when I walked in, she's like, oh, I'm a little early. Is that cool? I think you did this. You're like, is that cool? Did you ask me if it was okay?
Did.
You did. That was not. Now I'm like, there's some people, they're like, you better not walk into my session unless more than 15 minutes before. They'll literally write it in the email. Do not show up more than 15 minutes before. Go to the Starbucks, go away. They will say, and if I look intimidating or scary, maybe you don't do it. But sometimes it's oh, look, there's a human in here. Now maybe I'm nervous, and now maybe you've helped me. If anything, a little breathing room, or just be like, hey, I just want to say, I'm excited to hear you speak. And if they look like they want to talk more, talk more. Just I don't want to, even if you acknowledge, oh, I don't want to bother you, but I just wanted to say I'm excited to hear you talk.
Sure.
Put in a nugget, and then you can walk away and then read the room. But they're going to think you're way cooler because you talked to them before, because nobody knows why they're cool yet. Yeah, sure.
Can I ask a question about that?
Please.
Advice on how to get yourself to do the follow-up. For me,
Ooh, follow-up.
I'm a half introvert, half extrovert shy person, and so if I can get myself to the event, I'm fine once I'm there, in the moment chatting with people. But then after, my shyness gets in the way to do the follow-up email.
What are you scared about the follow? What's making what when you're typing it or thinking about doing it? What do you feel? What's coming up for you?
About asking for help, I'm putting them out.
I hate that too. It makes me nervous. You're not alone, because there are certain people that are getting hit up, and this is a real thing. They're getting hit up all the time. Meet me for coffee. Give me help here. Give me help, and and for some it sucks. So it's a fine line of like interpersonal skills. And even like I'm hearing you say this, and I'm just, like, who else is nervous about that? Like anybody, right? Like it's hard, and that's where like this is how my long-term decision is, that I don't put that pressure on people, and maybe this is hurting me, that I don't ask for things till somebody's like warmed up a little bit to me. I still don't ask that often, and I'm always like, I know you're busy, I acknowledge it. Is this something that you might know somebody in? And if ideally people will say no, women tend to not say no, which like breaks my heart. Because I'm like, sometimes you just need to say no, because it's like people ask for stuff and it's like, we have to help. It's like, it's a hard one. But if you're trying to come at it like, hey, like I know your time, if you acknowledge that their time is valuable, or if you ask, if you can't help me with this, maybe you can make a little ask, connect me to somebody, or is there a company that you can tell me to look into, or make an ask that's much simpler. Maybe that's a little less scary. It depends on what you're at. Like, hey, like, this is, you don't want to waste someone's too much time. Say, hey, this is where I'm at. I know your time is valuable, and if you can't help me with this, can you connect me to? Can you tell me where I can go for this? Like, put your ask in. I'm looking for a connection here. I know your time is valuable. If you can't help me on this, can you refer me to someone who can? Then you give them an out. What?
You can do those when you just met, like once. You can be like, I need a connection.
It depends on what it is. I don't like asking. I'm terrified of asking for help, and I'm telling you all this as somebody who likes to talk and make friends. But some things are not heavy. If you're asking for something really big, like that's, ugh. But if you say, hey, like here, there's a way to like soften the blow of like, I'm kind of looking for this. I understand your time is valuable, and you might not be able to help me. But if you can connect me to someone else, give them something easy that they can do. If there's a company that you can name, if there's a person I should look up to, that way they don't have to spend a lot of time answering, and they now have an out. If you ask somebody for a big question and you don't give them a way to escape, it's bad. And I know we're wrapping up on time here, so jump on in.
Sorry,
go for it. No, please. I want to make sure I hear everybody out.
Ask, like, one thing I've done is like, to give them an out is say like, hey, I'm totally okay with writing up an example email of what you could say if you wanted to send that. Also, like, there's a couple things you can do like at those events to help set you up for writing that email and making that connection, like writing down little things about your conversation you had, or like something that they wore or whatever that you can compliment them on. Also, anything about the specific conversation you mentioned, like if
yes.
you mentioned like
love it.
You for example.
Yeah.
You were talking. I mean, you're obviously very big into being a connector. There's a really great book called The Go-Giver. I don't know
Ooh, that sounds like a good book.
I sent her an email afterwards.
Go-Giver.
Hey, you know what? Like, there's a great book that I think would really resonate with you. It's called The Go-Giver by whatever, and then go into your ask. By the way, I know I don't know what you would say, but it would kind of go from there. So give first, and then. Yeah.
That's the softest way that you can kind of do it, and it's hard. It is not easy, but I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I know we're wrapping up here. I'm going to stick around afterwards. I want to get a few more things done, but I will stick around afterwards. Look, for me, like, social media and networking and connecting has been such a big part of my life. It's brought me my friends. It's brought me people at Nextdoor. It's something that's really dear to me, and there's so many things we could have talked about today, and we're not going to solve all of the problems. I'm a click or an email away if you have ideas, if you have feedback and all that kind of stuff. Again, I am a little bit of an extrovert. I've built up myself to do this all day. I know everybody in this room might be introverts or different backgrounds or have different needs in their life, and I'm always trying to understand people and get feedback on all of these things so that I can help someone else who's in your shoes. Again, like, I love helping people or supporting my introvert friends who aren't such good networkers. I coached my friend for an hour on this stuff because I love it so much, and I want to help other folks who are in different shoes than me. So I'm always trying to learn and take feedback and collect it so I can do this more for other groups too. So one of the things that I do is I like to collect feedback on these sessions so I can make sure that I'm as helpful as I can for all of y'all. If you want, who wants a copy of these slides? And a little bonus treat also if you do it. I have a little feedback form that if you can do it right now, I will give you a little treat, and you'll get all the slides in your inbox immediately, which is crazy. Who gives you slides immediately? Who's filled out forms and then said, oh, we'll send you the slides, and then never ever gets the slides, right? I've been there. You will get them immediately. I can't mess this up. So you go to shai.ly, you'll see the feedback box, click it, and then you'll type in some feedback. Please, the more honest you can be, the better. If you give me some really, really good feedback, I will reach out and personally thank you, and I will happily help you with something if I can help you within my wheelhouse. If you want a profile review or a social media nugget, I will happily give you some extra love if you've given me some real good stuff that I can work on. I want to make, my goal is I want to do more social media specific workshops, which this isn't as much social media. I want to do those workshops for like accounting firms, law offices, all that kind of stuff. And I want to make sure these are awesome. So when I'm going to other places too, I can kind of give them an awesome experience. So any feedback is appreciated. And if anyone doesn't have a place to do it, I can give you a tablet to write the answers in. If anyone has any glitches on this? Yeah, you, please. So thank you, and then we'll wrap it up with a last story. Thank you for your feedback. I appreciate it. And if you show me that you completed it, I will give you something special that hopefully you'll be able to enjoy. You can hear if you did the feedback form. Who's going to be the first one to show it off? Thank you for your time, by the way. And then I'll give a closing, and then we'll be all dandy by 8 o'clock. Oh, I love you all. Thank you for your brutal honesty. I appreciate it. No judgment. And I will use your email wisely. I'm not using any emails for probably a long time, except for maybe a thank you for now. So I will use it safely. Who's the first one that completed? Oh, I love you guys. What time is it? We're perfect.
Yeah, I just sent it.
You did? Did you see it? Do you have the form at the back? You just did it? Awesome. Yes, you win. So you press submit. You make sure you press submit after the second one and it goes to your inbox. You get a golden nugget. Hopefully you got lots of golden nuggets today. Did you get it done? Did you press submit?
No.
You get a golden nugget too. Yay, who else? We get some yummies. Okay, I have these. Awesome. We have golden nuggets because I'm all about nuggets. Yes, you got it. You finished it. You completed it. You pressed submit. Yay, you get one of these. You got it? Amazing, you get a nugget. Awesome. Who else did it? Oh, who else did it? You did it. Good job. You press the submit button. You'll get a copy of all those things in your inbox. You get a nugget. Awesome. I'm feeling like Oprah. You get a nugget. Oh, good. I have more nuggets here. You got it? You get a nugget too. There you go. Who doesn't love chocolate? I mean, unless you're allergic, and I'm really sorry if you don't eat nuts. Awesome. Okay, wrapping it up with the last kind of story. I have more nuggets for you, so okay, I'm going to give you these after. They're right here. We're going to give them out. You can take a second one if you really want one. See this dude right here? You might look familiar because we have the same face according to everybody. That is my father. He is a jeweler. He buys estate jewelry. He's a big dude. He pays big dollar for jewelry. Like if somebody passes away and they have all this jewelry, he will buy it. And he's got a very big reputation in his community for buying jewelry, the top dollar, and helping people in his network and all this kind of stuff. Now, my dad, surprisingly, is a social media influencer. What? My dad, he's like in his 60s. So what he does is he's a social media influencer on WhatsApp. Who uses WhatsApp in this room? Okay, oh, this is more than I thought. Okay, great, half the room-ish. So my dad is an influencer on WhatsApp. He has a chat room that has, I don't know, like 150 or 200 jewelers from around the world where they can buy and sell jewelry from each other. And it is thriving. Thousands and thousands of dollars go through this chat room every single week. Now, how is my dad an influencer? Is that there's plenty of other people that can make chat rooms like he does. But the reason his works is because every relationship that he puts in those chat rooms are ones that he's cultivated for that 10 years, like you said. He's been in this business for almost 40 years. These are all people that he trusts, that trust him, that now people can literally see a big picture of bling and they can buy it just on trust because he's built those relationships. He's taken his network and introduced everybody to each other and has brought him a load of karma. Now he charges people a lot of money just to be in the chat room, which is, if you told you guys would be like, really? People pay that much? Because he's cultivated something amazing because of the relationships he spent 40 years to build. If you told him 30 years ago or 40 years ago that he was going to be like this dude, he wouldn't have known that those relationships would get him to WhatsApp. So he's kind of the prime example of using your relationships and your networks to succeed, and he does exactly what we're talking about here. Is he's built relationships, he's built trust, and he's connecting people to each other, and it's planting seeds. He had a guy in New York literally come up to him at a wedding and like supposedly kiss my dad's hand because his entire career was changed because of the opportunity to be in my dad's chat room. He takes care of everybody, and that is kind of the secret karma that is networking, and I think is a big part of what we do here. So with that, as his story and a little bit of what you've learned about me today. I want to close with one word. We have 1 minute. One word from each person here to describe how you're feeling as a result of this workshop. Starting with, who's comfortable starting with one word? You want to go for one word, and we're going to go real fast.
Motivated.
Motivated, cool. You want to go that way? Yes.
Still thinking of
It's okay, still thinking is fine. Michelle, do you want to go this way?
Encouraged.
Encouraged, cool. My friend over here.
A little clearer.
Clear, cool, awesome.
Better.
Better, yeah.
Excited.
Excited, cool.
Enthusiastic.
Yes, enthusiastic, yes. My friend back here.
More comfortable.
Oh, good, that was a goal. Okay, great, you feel more comfortable, awesome. Nicole? Creative, yes.
I was going to say creative.
It's okay, you can borrow words. It's okay. Unique, you said?
Yeah.
Cool, yes, my friend on the plaid.
Seeking more.
Seeking more, oh, very nice, yes.
Empowered.
Empowered, yes. Motivated? Informative, ooh, I like that. Stressed? It's okay, it's okay. Wait, I'm here after, I'll cheer you up, yes. Interesting, very cool. So with that, we are exactly 8 o'clock. Remember, social media is about the people, not about your business or your job. It's provide for the people, and the people will provide for you. Thank you all for coming, and I appreciate your time tonight. I'll be hanging out for the rest of you. Thank you all.
Thank you.